Hello there.
You wake up, you go down.
Today I want to go through this mix with you. It's a cover of a U2's song called A Sort of Homecoming, and it's recorded for a client in the studio last week. Now I played guitar and we had a drummer and the client sang and played bass. And it was my job to mix it. I would play the original, but I'm gonna not do that because it's gonna cause problems, probably. But you can have a listen to the original anytime you like on Spotify or what have you. So I went through a process of drums first. Here are the overheads. Let me just check I'm recording. Yeah, recording. I'm in a temporary place at the moment. So that's why it looks funny behind me. Got overheads left and right, so combined into one track. Really nicely recorded through an API desk and amazing mics. So that was lovely. And here's the kick in. I doubled the kick with a sample, electronic sample, because U2 kind of give that vibe a little bit. Here is the drum kick? No, bass drum out. So if you don't know, kick means bass drum. Snare on the top, mic on the top, snare, mic on the bottom. You've got the microphones used as well, if you're interested in that kind of thing. I should say I muted this tom drum because it's kind of the main instrument you'll hear. And I'll explain why I muted it. Hopefully I won't forget later. Well, essentially to create more space, because I like the space of the original U2 song, U2 recording from 1984 it is, which explains all these. I put this channel strip on pretty much everything, and this channel strip is an emulation of by SSL of SSL 4000B around early 80s, I believe. I think it's their first kind of modern desk that was used. So I'll be using that, and this might be a longish video actually. I'll try and get into as much detail as possible. Usually when I say things like that, the opposite is true, so we'll see. Snare top, snare bottom. SPD is I don't know what it stands for, but it's a sample drum, sample snare in this case. That comes out stereo as well, left, right. And I was given one take of the drums, which was great. As in, I don't have to compile all the different takes. We recorded about 7 or 8 or something. Actually, about maybe more. I can't remember. And here is a tambourine. I ended up chopping it up and looping it for the end because it was a bit inconsistent. And the room, we've got a few kind of room mics. I used this one. It's a great fun effect. Sorry about the noise behind. That is a Hoover or a vacuum cleaner. So I use this room mic just in two places. You'll hear that later. I'm just going to pause actually. Welcome back. The vacuum cleaner has stopped and I have a cup of tea. I did have it before, but now I'm warming my hands satisfyingly with it. So where was I? Yes, I was using this room sound. You'll hear that. It's the most fun part of the song for me. That could be blasphemous for U2 fans, but the other two kind of room mics I didn't find a use for. I didn't want to overcomplicate the drum sound. They sound great, but I already had the overheads. And the bass was fairly simple. We've got some takes here, so I did ask for some takes, which I needed a few times, a handful of times. Takes meaning kind of passes through the song. It was done to click track. You can see it's 118 BPM. I created a group with the bass, so if I changed anything on one of them, if I selected maybe one note from a different take, it would happen to both the DI, which is direct into the desk, I believe, and the amp sound, which goes through an amp. We've got a right guitar, which has two elements. Again, the DI and the mic. The mic is picking up all my effects, so I'm the guitarist. And I had some heavy edge-like effects through the amp. So the engineer wisely went DI as well, which I used, and there were a few takes of that as well. I think I only used two. Looks like I used two takes. Two takes. Alright. And that guitar on the right side is sent into another bus. We'll get into that, hopefully. And the left side, the same deal, different sound, different takes. What's happening there? Actually, just seems like no other takes. It seems like just one was compiled, so the engineer would have just compiled that on the fly, which is very useful. And then that guitar is also sent to this bus. A bus is when you group channels together, going through a different channel before they go out to the main output. On this, I've popped my favorite new compressor, which we'll get to, I hope. And here's the lead vocal. I had to do a fair bit of work on this. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I'll go through the plugins there because they're really fun. BVs, backing vocals, I did these, and I put them all through a bus. Here, this is the bus, so I can open and close it like that. Here is probably, I think that's a rough mix. This is transposed actually. The singer has a lower register than Bono, so we transpose it down a fourth. So I believe instead of E flat, it's B flat. So that will explain why it sounds really weird if you're A-Bing it. And here's my new guitar. I added this yesterday at home, in my temporary home, with my Mesa Boogie amp and lovely cab from what's it called? Noisy Hammer. Little 10-inch speaker and the dual rectifier Rectoverb. It's got a nice spring reverb on it and great distortion choices there and lots of tone choices. So I always take that with me in my traveling studio, and a ribbon mic for guitar by Soundtronics as well, which is lovely, kind of dark, but lovely. And then I added a Prophet line as well, and we'll hear that later. That's not in the original. There are a few things that we've changed. I think the main thing is the guitars are quite different, perhaps, from the original. Okay, let's have a little listen to the drums. Let's have a blast of everything for a sec. So that's the intro. Let's go through the drums. Let's listen to these overhead with no processing. I can turn all this on. So that's what I was given. So at first, we'll put this on. Got rid of a bit of mud. Push the tops a bit. I did the same kind of compression on everything. Quick release. There's no attack selection. Soft ratio. It's 3 to 6 dB of gain reduction. The mic pre pushing saturation a little bit there. Actually I've got no low pass, high pass there. Pop some high pass in. I can't really hear any low frequency, so I won't go too mad on that. Okay, that's that. Well, I should explain what this is. This is the drums bus. And we've got a Chandler Limited curve bender, just pushing some 12,000 hertz, a bit of sparkle, pretty nice, but lifted. And then a limiter, because it really was pushing it too hard. It was clipping essentially, so I put a limiter on the drums. And then this EQ, what did I do here? Nothing. Turn that off. What was I trying? I don't remember what I was messing with that EQ, but quite a few times I'll mess with stuff and take it off later. Okay, here is the kick in. Again, 4KB. Same kind of deal. Here it is out and in. So cut off, what's it called? Noise gated it. Get rid of the rumble. That sounds pretty nice. And here's the double, the sample. Electronic You can hear the lift. Slightly more thuddy. Kick out. Same deal. That's what I was given. Thought that was more usable. Snare top. Intermittent, this is a side snare. I popped on a 1176, didn't do that much, but it gave it a bit of saturation. Nice and clangy. Snare bottom. Should put an 1176 on that too, maybe. A bit more clangy, tinny, I don't know. Here's the snare. So I didn't do much to this because I liked it, and doesn't need anything, does it? And here's a tambourine near the end. Same kind of situation, going through everything from before. And I didn't use that. Oh yeah, have a listen to this. Yeah. So didn't do much, well, no compression, none needed. Didn't push the preamp. Pushed a bit of low, brought a lot of 270 hertz out, pushed a lot of 2.5K. I've listened to before, and without my stuff, some imaging stereo-ness. So that's what it was to begin with. Still going through the 4KB and the bus, but stereo and Sounds Amp for my favourite new plug-in maker, Audio Punks. Now, how good is that? I think that's the phrase. How good is that? So I popped that in a little bit. You'll hear it later. Well, let's hear it. Let's hear the drums at that point. And without the craziness, not crazy at all. Much better. Hopefully I'll get away with that. I'm not sure if the client will agree how good that is. But you're not always going to get what you want, said a famous rock band. Okay, bass. So that is a bus, and we have the DI. Same kind of thing, some EQ and stuff. Amp. EQ and stuff. And together, popped it through this lovely plugin. Always does the trick. Let's turn it off. Kind of made it quieter, but it's just sitting better. Bit of grit and roundness. Got some sub in there. Lovely. Guitar right. Oh, I should say what this is. Side chaining the bass to the kick. So let's have a listen to the kick with the bass and without. Oh, where's the bass? Here we go. So the kick is coming through the bass channel, in effect. It's pushing the bass. Subtle. And that's without. So it's a bit plainer. Not gelled. This is gelled. And if you hear the bass on its own, you can hear the kick coming through. Kind of. Okay. So let's hear the bass in drums, shall we? Lovely. Okay, next. What's next? Oh, I was on guitar, wasn't I? Right, guitar. So this is the DI. I popped on this new free Universal Audio amp. This is without. It's more contained. And what else? The usual 4 kb and a healthy dose of chorus. Maybe too much. We'll see. This one, I pop it on and it just sounds what I want. Sounds like what I want. And I don't have to do anything. It's really good. Arturia, it is. And this one, no chorus on this one. Just the channel strip. This is without. Fine, bit plinky, more body, and then together it's a good combo. Made the DI louder than the amp in this case. And then the left, yeah, I say that because I was quite surprised that that's the way it went. Let's hear the DI here. Chorus, Showtime, channel strip. Microphone amp. Chorus as well. And channel strip. Let's hear without the channel strip. A bit harsh some up there somewhere. Nice. Left guitar in total. So a bit more amp on this one. So guitars together. And I just pop them through this limiter compressor thingy. Again, Audio Punks. It is compressing because this light is on. You might not see any gain reduction, but the change in tone is what it's about. Have a listen. Off. It's more aggressive, obviously louder. I don't want to mess with the output now, but it's definitely more aggressive and forward somehow, and I really liked it. They were too polite before. They're quite smooth. And then they go to the output from there. Let's listen to the guitars and the bass and the drums. Hear that side snare coming in there. Really like that. And then new guitar I recorded here. Let's see what that sounds like. The client said after I recorded the guitars and we were still in the studio, he played me a bit of the original. It had this kind of motif. It's hard to make out exactly, but somewhere along these lines. So I said I would add this on, and it's in the center, but you can hear it's jumping around between the speakers, and same deal here, EQ and everything. Chorus again. Everything's got a gate on it, pretty much. Although I haven't seen one so far in this video, but I remember putting them on everything. Gate is noise gate. It's on the channel strip. All the channel strips have gates on. Okay, and let's listen to that with the guitars and the bass and the drums. Okay, just the guitars. Ooh, actually, I sent this into the guitars. Didn't I? Yeah, I did. So you heard it before. I'm a donut. Apologies for being a donut. They were heard before. This new guitar was heard before when we were listening to all the guitars, or maybe it was somewhere else. Anyway, but let's hear it now. So that fits in. This new one fits in nicely. So I sent that to the bus as well. The bus with only this on it, just to gel them, control them together. Alright, next Prophet 5, are these it called? Yeah, Prophet 5, Ulterior's Prophet 5. Went through a few presets, and then I think I changed I put the arpeggiator on. It didn't seem to arpeggiate like, I don't know this keyboard very well at all, but it's part of my learning process. I've got lots of Arturia stuff, and this is one of the things, and keyboards, classic, iconic keyboards, so I'm messing around with this. It's going to take years, but at the moment I just go with the presets. I've got a lesson in a minute. I'll have to pause. So let's just listen to the Prophet. So I took a lot of bass out. Let's listen how it was. You can hear a bit of noise at the bottom end. It's fairly subtle, but I took it all out. I didn't push this. Thought I'd leave it as is, quite nice. I kind of wanted it clean. And not that it's entirely clean. It's got fuzziness, hasn't it? And then I made it very wide. So that's centered. Let's go back a bit. And then wide. Lovely. Okay, yeah, I went with this preset here. And it's got a bit of movement that seems to be with the arpeggiator. Yeah. So it's got movement now. A bit more high end as well. I might mess with that later. See if it sits better without the arpeggiator on. Let's listen to all the geats, all the drums, bass, and Prophet. That's just the guitar line that's doubling there, the main line. I wanted to support the guitars there. And then the new geat again here. When the drums go crazy in this bit. This one here. That's without. So very messy. So when it finishes here, it's all clean again. I really like that. Might revisit that little bit, show you with the vocals in. Okay, I have to go now, but see you in a moment. Hello again. So I was about to talk about the vocals, I think. Let's have a listen to the vocal.
And you know it's time to go.
Now I put some cool stuff on here. Here's a gate, not so cool, but necessary, noise gate. I use Nectar 4 for the EQ.
And you know it's time to go.
So it's choosing some areas to dip. It does sound better, have a listen without.
And you know it's time to go through the sleet.
Bit clearer, I needed some clarity. A bit of de-essing.
And you know it's time to go.
So you can see the orange part here. So it's very subtle. I guess that's dB maybe. 2.3 it says.
And you know it's time to
1.8. So here's the second EQ it did, again for a bit of clarity. This was important as well. The vocal was quite overly dynamic. So we've got this auto level feature which keeps the vocal line in check, the vocal volume in check.
And you know it's time to go through the sleet and driving snow.
It was recorded on a ribbon mic and through a Tube Tech CL1B. I'll show you what that looks like. I believe it was this. So the real one in the studio. Here we go. Yeah, one of these. So it sounds really lush, but needed work, as all vocals do. I also added my new favorite plugin that I talked about earlier, the complementer.
Across the fields of morning light.
It's probably quite a big change in volume, but I'll check with and without.
Lights in the distance, and you hunger for the time to heal.
Just got a bit of top end fizz and just some nice aggression, energy. So I really liked it when I popped that on. I wanted some energy, more energy in it. And the other thing you can hear are the effects. I popped this on. This one is a basic version of this plugin. Because it's 1984 when this was originally recorded, the client wanted, to pay homage. So I used a lot of 80s stuff. I mentioned the SSL 4KB, and this is another one. This might have, I think there was a 240 that came out and used on everything before this, but anyway, this I think is 80s as well. It's just a plate. Let's turn the other effect off and just listen to the plate.
Desire time, and your earth moves beneath.
And off.
Your own dream landscape.
And on.
Oh, oh, oh.
So it's nice, simple, short, what do you call it? Short, you know what I mean. And decay, that's the word. And what I put on as well was this, again for loads of energy. This one is Baby Audio. I hope Baby Audio don't change too much. They seem to have changed to a more boring version of themselves, copying Isotope. This was when they were cool. Hopefully they'll remain so. And this is just awesome. Have a listen without again.
On borderlands we run.
And the energy now.
I'll be there. I'll be there tonight.
I just love that. Just adds a lot of energy and some reverse stuff going on. It's all kind of confusing, I suppose. These are delay elements that came with the preset. I made the decay shorter because it was even more insane, and then made it 100% wet because it's on one of these buses. I think they're called aux sends in the biz. Ascend for sure. And so what happens in Ascend is you create a new channel, and let me put my pointer on. Need my pointer. There we go. Great. And you put the effect on that channel and you make it 100% wet, and then you can put this at 0, and you could use this as the effect kind of volume, but it's usual to use this fader instead. So I've got 2 of those. Spaced out is the crazy one, and then the 480 is the plate. And I think it sounds good. Let's have a listen to everything.
smoke screen all around.
So I think that's good. Everything sounds big, powerful, full, but space. There is space, a little bit. On the BVs, I think that's the last thing to talk about. Got this one.
And you
Hunger for the time, heal desire time.
So it's a lot thinner. Same deal as before with the channel strip, and I've used the same sends. And here I've adjusted this part. It's a bit less. You can hear them both affecting this vocal. Let's hear it together.
hunger for the time to heal, desire time.
Yeah, next I'm going to talk about the bus process, the mix bus processing after these vocals. Here's another vocal. They're all going to this bus, but I'll talk about that in a sec. Now I only tracked one of these. I cut this bit, popped it here, cut this bit, popped it here, and then popped another one there. That one looks like this one. So they sound different. They are different. But I didn't have to sing it again. And then I panned them. So this one's panned left, this one's panned right. And they're the same. So let's listen to them together. Not that one, this one. And I did the same again. Different amounts, but spaced out and vox. Same send is used. It's a very convenient way to do things. And then, let's hear that in context. And on the bus, I often put this EQ on buses just because it doesn't do a lot. No active compression, some saturation, but you can just tweak things if you need to. I haven't tweaked anything here, but it puts things together for control and glue. And then again, I use this for energy. Let's hear the BVs without this. Fine. Let's hear with. So just a bit more aggressive again. I like it. Alright, now for the mix bus stuff, processing. So I've got this new default mix bus and I've popped all this on it. So this final one is just a way to get a flat sound. So my referencing is good. This one is to get the volume right, to look at what the volume is in the end. This one is just to look at a normal rock curve from bass to treble. And this one is to actually boost the volume, maximize the output. What else? This one is a very mu compressor. This is harmonic saturation and tape saturation, and an EQ. So I use this one just to dip some 100 hertz. It's not 100 exactly, is it? It's just 120 hertz. Just dipped a little bit of that for a bit of thinning out. I've also centered the low end at up to 73 hertz, and then I've kind of done the opposite at the high end, made it more stereo. So mono maker, bringing the low frequencies together down, and then the high frequencies apart a little bit. And that's it. It does have a sound, this EQ, apart from the things I've done, but particularly with the things I've done, just 3 tweaks. Have a listen to the difference. It's not the best moment in the song. Let's have a listen to this without.
City walls are all coming down. The dust of smoke screen all around.
Pretty huge, I think. It's a nice sound. It's a tightening effect that I like. You're just putting it on without tweaking anything. The tape didn't make things better for me. Just changed it. Let's have a listen without.
Faces proud like
I'm going to change to with during.
feels that once gave no resistance. And we live on the side of the road, on the side of the hill, as the valleys explode. Just slow.
It does change it drastically. The main thing I noticed was the guitars come forward, and I don't really want them to do that. So I left that off. Harmonics was pretty good. Let's have a listen without and then with.
Locating, suffocating, the land grows weary of its own. Oh come away, oh come away, oh come away, I say.
Again, I didn't really like what it did to the vocal there. It seemed to make it louder, among other things. So I left that off. And this is nice. Let's go off and on.
Say I, oh come away, oh come away, oh come away, I say I.
You can hear how it's a bit more mushy without. I don't think there's any change in volume. There's 1 dB of gain reduction. I left it on the default silicon setting. That's got its own particular attacks and release times. But I didn't get into that really. I just wanted a bit of reduction, and I experimented with the attack time a little bit. Releases on fast, and usually I'd start off with attack time on the slowest possible. I want you to hear the difference between the slower attack and this slightly faster attack, because I like it faster.
On borderland we run, and still we run and don't look back. I'll be there tonight.
Again, I just like its tightening of everything. That is it. That's all I put a high pass on that, so the bass frequencies below 138 are not coming through the compressor. Well, they're not being affected by the compressor. Okay, what else? And that's it, I think. Yeah, push the volume tiny bit, but the client will probably want it a lot louder. The reason I keep it not as loud as it could be is to get a bit of action on the VU meter. So this is a normal calibration, -18, and I'm told that a bit of action is a good thing. If you push the volume, it's just going to be pinned to maxing out on this calibration. But that's why. But most clients want it louder. You usually don't look at the VU for mastering. That's kind of what I'm doing in this mix. It's mastering it at the same time. If you go to RMS, you'll see.
And we live on the side of the road, on the side of the hill.
That's pretty quiet in today's standards. But I'm also told that Spotify makes everything the same volume anyway, so you might as well have some VU dynamics there. In the comments, if you have more knowledge than me, please tell me, please educate me. But that's where I'm going at the moment. And then that's it really. This one, as I mentioned, helps get things in a kind of standardized format. It's usually nothing to worry about. But if this line goes above or below this band here, then you might want to take a look at it. Let's have a look.
As the valleys explode, dislocating, you suffer.
So it's very standard indeed. So nothing to worry about there. Okay, I think that's it. If you want to hire me for any composition or production or mixing or mastering, you can go through soundbetter.com, or I'll put my email in the YouTube contact area somehow if you want to contact me that way. Thanks a lot for listening. See you next time.